Well, hello and thank you. My name is Bartock, and my research is examining how models of science communication are able to describe the practices of science communication in long-term ecological research sites, or LTERs. Now, the LTER network is a hugely important system of research sites that really contribute prodigiously to our ecological understanding. So, for example, LTERs contributed significant findings regarding acid rain that were really influential in helping pass the Clean Air Act. So it's incredibly important for us to understand how these scientists are able to communicate their data and findings to outside parties. It's also really, really important for us to understand how our theory of communication is able to describe how science communication works in practice. So for my research, I conducted interviews with science communication practitioners at long-term ecological research sites in order to understand how three broad models in our theory describe their goals and assumptions. So the three models can be sort of envisioned on the spectrum of public engagement, with the deficit model at the low end of the spectrum, the dialogue model somewhere in the middle, and the participation model at this high end. So during the course of my interviews, I was looking to see how well they described what was going on the ground. What I found was that the deficit model really wasn't all that prevalent. That's interesting because the deficit model is this process of one-way transmission of information, and it assumes that information is automatically assimilated and accepted by its audiences. Now, empirically, we know that's not true. For example, if a sports fan has a team that hasn't won a season in years, regardless of that data, they're not likely to admit that their team sucks. So regardless of what data say, we filter that information through our social and cultural lenses. So that model's received a lot of criticism. The participation model also wasn't all that prevalent in my research. Now, the participation model has a really, really strong push for public engagement, which can be extremely resource intensive. To have stakeholder input in public meetings, it takes a lot for science communication practitioners to get that done. What I found was the dialogue model was the most dominant because I think it fits this sort of Goldilocks area. It contextualizes research through two-way conversations for audiences. So they're more likely to find it interesting and relevant because we give them the context they need to understand it, but it doesn't require quite as much intensive resources as the participation model. So future research should really focus on what makes these models so attractive in different contexts for different researchers, and what other models that are in our literature need to be explored to see how well they're able to describe these science communication practices.